Back here with the Dragon on this 1977 Honda CB750 single overhead cam, cafe style. If you caught that first video, I believe this will be like part two. When I fired the thing up after cleaning the plugs and everything, it was revving to the moon. And I turned the idle screw, that's on the throttle plate of the carburetors, all the way out, and it didn't change anything. That's where I left you. So I did a little investigation. The cable was tight, so I loosened that, and it seemed to help a little bit. But what I found out was a lot of it's got to do with, well, there's a couple factors. One, the way they got the cables routed. I'm going to show you a demonstration of what I'm talking about here in a minute. If you have the bars turned this way, it idles. If you turn the bars the other way, it revs back up. What causes that is just the way people route throttle cables, and then it's tight here. See how he's got it strapped together? So when you turn the bars, it puts tension on it and is actually the same as twisting the throttle. It's pulling on the cable, which is, it doesn't take much to make it rev like that. Just pull that throttle open a little bit. The other thing is that we got a situation, the whole throttle doesn't operate the way it should. And it's getting bound up in here somewhere. You can see the housing isn't even all the way tight because something's in there. It's like that on both sides, which is a bad indication something's going wrong. And also, what I noticed was this grip slides on the throttle itself. In between here, you can see that yellowish white plastic with black marks on it. That's the actual throttle slide. And then this grip is supposed to be glued to it, but the grip actually will move. The throttle gets a little tension and then the grip just slides and the throttle doesn't turn anymore. It just kind of stops once it gets tension. And this grip just goes all over the place. If I grip it really hard, then I got regular action. But you can hear this thing. Listen, it doesn't even sound right. Yeah, not supposed to sound like that. And then also the grip is sliding down against this mirror thing. This whole grip, you could just pull it right down there. And you see how much I moved at that time. And it gets hung up there. And that's holding it open. I already moved the bar, so let's hope it still idles. But I'm going to give you a demonstration of what I'm talking about. I've already had it running. She smokes a little bit. I think the valve seals need to be done. See, now it's idling. Now watch when I turn the bars to the left. It is responsive. It's got some real old spark plugs in it. I don't even believe they're the right ones. So imagine when I get the right brand new spark plugs in there. She snaps pretty good. But yeah, you see what's going on there. Like I say, that comes from the routing of the cables usually. Also, this bike originally had push-pull cables. So they have two. And on the carburetor, you would have two. So you actually can crack the throttle back. You can see it's only one cable. The customer was complaining about the return was not strong, and there's a lot of reasons that is. One of it, most obvious one, is just the cable's just routed different than it originally was, and it's getting bound up in there. You got to get that straightened out. But there's several things going on with that throttle that's got to be straightened out. It's very, very dangerous. That thing could hang up when you weren't expecting it. Like pulling up behind a car or something and you let off the throttle and it's still wide open, and guess what happens? So yeah, I'm just still in the early stages. There's a lot to be done on this bike. Basically, it was get it in, phase one, make sure it's mechanically sound, the engine's good, it responds good, and then go to like the brakes and, get the safety stuff. You can obviously see we got some situations with the throttle already. And then when we get it mechanically sound and safe, then we were going to go to start doing maybe some aftermarket shocks. The tank needs to be relined and painted. Maybe, like the guy said, like a resto mod situation. But these are going to be different phases over, I don't know, could be months, could be years. We'll see, whatever he can endure or whatever we can endure together. Sometimes these longer projects are tougher. But anyway, that's where we're at. You see what I got to work with. Now I got to solve this situation and get this thing safe and sound like it's supposed to be. All right, guys. Thanks again for following along. Peace out.